Oh, it's up there! Amorag! Oh my god! Amorag's left behind! This is going to be very, very intense. Left behind from a... Oh my goodness me, Chiefy, that rotation got completely outspotted.
Great round by Mabbox there.
Oh man, this is going to go really horrible. Oh, it's up there, Emerald! Oh my god, Emerald's left behind. This is going to be very, very intense. Left behind from a. Oh my goodness me, Chiefy that rotation got completely outspotted.
Great round by Mabbox there.
Oh man, this is going to go really horrible. Oh, it's up there! Amorag! Oh my god! Amorag's left behind! This is going to be very, very intense. Left behind from a... No! Good evening, everyone. We're back on the Blitz Cup Preliminaries. We are going to be on the final day on the Asia server. Again, the 8 clans are Boon, Cats Feast, GV, HLV, Team ID, Low, and RN. And if you haven't known about the Blitz Cup Preliminaries format already, then you should be ashamed, because it's been a really popular tournament in this game. So just a reminder, all games are played in the best of 7, so that is, whichever team wins the first 4 matches will win the fixture. The tournament is run in a single round robin format, that is, each team will play 7 other teams. You can treat it like a football league, but then the teams play with one another once, and it's held on a neutral venue. So this is how this is what it means by single round robin format. 1 point is given to a fixture win and 0 points are given to a fixture loss. No sympathy given. The top 4 clans with the most points will advance in Blitz Cup. And in the case of a tie, the following parameters are considered in this order, which isn't going to make any of a difference, which isn't going to be significant or meaningful for tonight at all. So you don't need to consider this in the end. The timeline for you, we are on the last match day, so we are on the 4th day of the Blitz Cup Preliminaries, and we already know which 4 teams will be advancing to the Blitz Cup. And for the Asia server, Blitz Cup will be held on 7th to the 8th of November. The teams will be battling out for the $50,000 prize pool. And this is the map tonight. The second fixture, we're going to start off with Vineyards, and then Oasis Palms, Canal, and if there is a tiebreaker, it's going to end on Faust, hopefully on a high note. This is the table for you. The top 4 teams are all at least 1 point apart from the 5th placing team. So that means Feast, HLV, GB, and ID are all through to the Blitz Cup, and tonight is merely a practice match for all of these teams. And for the match we're going to stream, GB versus ID, it's going to be a glimpse of the Blitz Cup battles. So this is going to be exciting for sure. It's not going to be dull, even though it's going to be the last match day anyway. Even if everything is decided. And this is my stream schedule, and you're going to see in around 12 minutes, GV will be playing against Team ID. The time given here is Japan Standard Time, not Central European Summer Time, so it's Greenwich Mean Time plus 9 here. For other coverage, Fujit's Blitz will be streaming HLV versus Feast, Eternal Zinzan will be streaming Our End versus Cats, and Ziyong-kun will be streaming Boon versus Slow. You might notice that there is a stream delay here, so the time written up here will be the time 5 minutes later on the stream. The games will be starting at 5 minutes later than the written time here. This is on the stream, I mean. This is to prevent what is called stream sniping, which means the team could look at the enemy's lineup before the game even started and then change their own lineup based on that information. So we don't want that to happen. And for the first timer in the room, it's a 5-minute timer, so that means Wargaming has asked us to impose at least a 5-minute delay. Additionally, there will be a 20-second of latency delay. This is to preserve the stream quality, and this is to prevent buffering, basically. So the lower the latency, the more load that YouTube's going to bear. So the lower the latencies, you might experience more buffering, and since there is already a 5-minute delay applied to the stream, there is really no reason to lower the latency. So I actually set it in the normal latency situation so that you probably won't be able to witness any buffering in the stream at all. However, there will be a time that the stream suddenly will need to buffer. Please refresh the page, and the stream will be back. This is a problem on the YouTube side. I don't know what's going on my side. It doesn't seem to be happening on other streams for some reason, but if it happened tonight here, just refresh the screen, refresh the page, and you'll be able to watch the entirety of the tournaments. This is how you get coins. My moderators will be putting the link on the right hand side. If you're lazy enough, then just log in and then click the video button, and you will get coins. Simple as that. I'm informed that you can get the certificate as well, so make sure you do that. So this is it, let's begin. Oh man, this is going to go really horrible. This is GV's roster for you. Professor is the captain of the team, and then we have Berlin, Moscow, Tokyo, Doha, Venezia, Rome, Manila, Leski, and Paris. The team they're going to face will be Team ID. Let's get the trailer up for you. This is Team ID's roster for you. Campin is the captain of the team, and then we have Game, Florialica, Active Duty, Van Persie, Radioactive, Graham, Moxon, Lanny, Linked, and IDS. This is their last 5 games. ID won 2 of their last 5 games. I mean, won 2 games consecutively here, and they're looking for a third consecutive win tonight. They have far won 4 of their last 5 games, so it's pretty impressive indeed. Meanwhile, GV won 3 of their last 5 games, although they lost their last one against, I believe it's HLV. I believe, if I remember correctly. And this is their last 5 matchups. GV losing 4 of their most recent matchups against Team ID. So this looks on paper Team ID win here, but things could change. Let's ask back Mabbox about his prediction of the games tonight. So let's start off with HLV versus Feast. Mabbox is predicting HLV 2-4 against Feast. How about GV versus ID, which is the game that we're going to stream tonight? Well, we're going to put it at the last. Then, Boone versus Low. Boone is tipped to win 4-1 against Low. RN versus Cats. RN is tipped to win 4-1 against Cats. And finally, GV versus ID. GV is tipped to lose 1-4 against ID. This is interesting stuff. But if you look at the numbers here, the lower the number, the higher the probability that the scenario is going to happen. So the lowest number is ID 4-1 against GV, and the second lowest number is ID 4-2 against GV, and then the next lowest number is ID 4-3 against GV. So there is a very large possibility, according to Mabbox, that ID would win against GV. Would GV prove all the critics wrong tonight? And especially if they won tonight, that could be a really solid campaign for them, a really good solid springboard to the Blitz Cup held around 1 month later. So they have a lot of time to prepare, and a good result tonight would definitely boost their confidence. So I believe the room is up, so let's head into the room, and we start off with Vineyards. So this is Vineyards for you. Okay, so Vineyards, you see a lot of markers here, so lots of stuff, lots of details that you might want to take notice of. If you want to spot from the south side, there are 2 positions you can do so. You can put the Vicus light and just go up this slope a little bit, but don't go overshoot that because you might get farmed there. Just climb that slope a bit up, and then you might be able to spot tanks going into the sea. But this position would mean that you can't stay there for too long. You need to run away safely. Meanwhile, there's a second idea, which you could put a medium tank over here and spot tanks going to sea. In randoms, I love to do that. You can spot farm a lot of tanks crossing the sea, especially the slow tanks. One time I did it against an E100 while he is moving to sea. He got absolutely farmed by me, and he's down to half of his HP when he reached to the city side. So this could be a really important spot for a medium. But then you could put a medium here to stop you from doing that. So this is a kind of an easy counter to a spot with the over here. And if you want to recap, you can take this position here and do so. So for the north side, if you want to spot up tanks, this Vecus light would be very helpful in gathering up the information. You can try to get a tank here, but usually you won't be able to do something there. And spotting could be a little bit difficult, but then you can spot up tanks going into the ruins. If you want to decap B, then you can take this position very aggressively in the Vecus light, or you can put a medium tank over here and do the goodies over to B side. Meanwhile, heavy tanks would be very important in doing hull down over this ridge here and the ridge here. C will also be very important. If the opponent gets C, then your team will be in a little trouble. You need to make a rotation, and the Vineyards is not a good map for rotation because you need to climb up the terrain. The terrain is pretty much against you, so you really want to actually make sure that the enemy team doesn't get a hold of the cap lead, or you can just do a counter cap, but then the enemies could also put tanks to shut you down. So now we are in for Vineyards. GV going with Professor in the T22, triple IS Force by Barcelona, Berlin, and Doha. Moscow will be in the E5, alongside Tokyo, and Rome will be in the Vickers Light. Manila and Paris are on the subs bench. Thank you for the subscription. No skill, just ban. Team ID are going with Campen and Sheridan, Active Duty in the E5 alongside Radioactive, Gayam in the 113 alongside Lanny, and finally we have double IS4 played by Length and Florielica. So we still have 1 minute remaining and nothing much is happening. So Vineyards, hopefully this is a good map for Team ID. But GV's lineup is also viable. Camping the Sheridan, this is going to be interesting stuff because you have the terrain to work with in the Vineyards and you can shoot some missiles over the enemy's team. But the problem with Sheridan here is that Sheridan, the DPM is relatively low. So you must ensure that the Sheridan, that the team there, if you're playing with Sheridans, that you need to make sure your team is playing a defensive strat. Because if you make a rush and if you got rushed and something like that, then you might be in a lot of trouble trying to unleash your DPM. Although Team ID are taking double 1-3s, and that could boost their DPM by a bit, actually. But we are going to be on Vineyards. GV versus Team ID. Okay, it's taking some time to load into this. But GV! South side, Team ID on the north side. Where are they going to go? We're going to find out very soon. Professor saying Lolly to the left. Who is Lolly? I don't understand, but Team ID are going mostly to A. Meanwhile, GV are going somewhat to B and a little bit over to the ruins on the northwestern corner. But Rome will be getting B at the start. Meanwhile, Team ID will not have the cap lead there. Campen in the Sheridan. Will he land a missile? Doha is spotted, Barcelona is spotted, and Campen and Doha is getting smacked for a little bit. And that was a really good Sheridan shell from Campen into Barcelona. Oh, the GV's tanks going into this ruined space. I personally hate to go there because he just would get farmed from this window here. So GV already lost some hit points there, but still there are loads to play for. ID cannot be complacent, obviously. A is now getting spotted, but C is also getting capped. I mean, A is getting capped, but C is getting capped. But GV, I think they are a little bit surprised about this. And ID will be getting the cap lead back. But then GV will be putting forces into C, so Active Duty got shot a little bit careless there. But will Team ID do something about it? But Radioactive also getting smacked by Rome. Team ID needs to conserve the hit points. They need to stop dropping unnecessary hit points, however. Doha and Barcelona are spotted. They are getting away from this ruinous area. I think that's adjective of ruin. Now Berlin is getting aggressive. Campen needs to be careful not to over peak. Will he land a missile here? Let's actually head down to Campen and let's get from his perspective. He need a missile, but he's not shooting anything at the moment. Tokyo is trying to shoot something, puts tracked active duty, but we are seeing Team ID making a push. Potentially, Prorieka is getting smacked a bit. That could be a little bit of a half-hearted attempt from Team ID. GEV is holding on really well, but Radioactive is getting smacked a little bit. But Team ID are getting smacked on the crossing. This doesn't look good for Team ID at all. But GEV are pulling back. Doha is getting smacked, and Prorieka is also getting smacked. Barcelona is taking more and more hits, but Team ID are also losing a lot of hit points. But Prorieka got heavily smacked in the face, and Campen in the Sheridan, he's trying to run away from the crossfire from Tokyo, and he does it really well. Barcelona is killed, and Doha is now getting trapped by the ID's forces, and the focus fire is not there yet, but Doha is killed. Berlin is very low indeed, but GV has 2 caps here. Team ID 940 cap points. GV's priority would be to kill off all tanks as much as they could to swing back their caps to their favor, but Tokyo is the focus for Team ID, and GV also getting A as well. And Team ID must absolutely get B here, and they must make sure they don't lose any more tanks. Hit points are in favor of Team ID, of course. Enderman, hello there. Tokyo says Team ID 985, and Professor can land that last shell and kill off Radioactive. Professor kills off Radioactive. But we are seeing a skirmish of a 3 vs 1 of Team ID against Rome. Rome is not long for this world. Rome is trying to run away from this quagmire, but Lanny is coming from the side armor and Campen kills off Rome, which means GV would not win this first game. Team ID will win the first game. So I'm getting pinged for some reason. There's some problem with my stream. So we're going to see the damage. We have 3 tanks of GV doing more than 2k and 4 tanks of Team ID doing more than 2k. But Campen and Sheridan absolutely very, very important, doing 3.9k of damage. A lot of them coming from the AP shells, actually not really from the missiles. I'm a little bit surprised, but he killed 2 tanks. There we go, we're on the second batch. Hello Amma from the United Kingdom. No skill, just bad, just stabbing. And Tansible saying portal link, please. If you actually trace the stream earlier, then you will see the instructions. But if not, then I hope there already has been a moderator sending you a link there. Amma, please don't spam, or else Cowbot it's going to be doing something. ID is Korean. Yes, Team ID is all Korean. I didn't say they're from Japan. I don't think No Skill Just Ban is the same person as No Skill Just Luck. There we go. Edward saying Epic Esports. I cannot give you the portal link because I'm streaming. I'm pretty occupied. But you should be able to just look back at the stream and you should be able to know how to do it. Nitrogen says, go Team ID. Second match, GV versus Team ID. There has been banner here. Hello, Ridden. GV on the GID. GV on the north spawn, Team ID on the south spawn. Team ID just, I don't know where they're going, but they're going middle most likely. And GV are going for A and B as well. Campen's going for B2. But, Professor, will he get any spots in? He split up Linked and Prognostic, but his attempt into decapping Campen hasn't been successful so far. Campen can be getting B without any trouble at all, and he does get B, but Radioactive is getting smacked for a little bit. Tokyo is spotted, and meanwhile Lenny's spotted as well. And Rome's trying to do something, but Moscow getting a little bit shot at carelessly. But Linked is just going very aggressively. Link's not getting punished, which is very interesting. But where are the GV forces there? Linked, how are they allowing Linked to be operating that position? He's now getting smacked for a little bit. Linked needs to pull back, and GV maybe looking to shut down Linked, and Linked sense trouble here. But GV actually isolated himself, and ID will be looking to shut down Tokyo. That was a big mistake. Linked is also down. And Tokyo is dropping the reactive armor. Oh my goodness me, GV will be losing 2 tanks very quickly on, and Team ID will be hustling with this hit point pulley they have. And GV will be clinching to this disadvantage, but Doha is getting shut down potentially, and Berlin is also trying to shut down Plurielica, but we're seeing bounces happening. Doha is the focus from Team ID, but Gaya bounced on the Doha. Plurielica is looking to shut down Doha, and he does. Berlin took a fire. There is no fire extinguisher. The fireman isn't there to extinguish the flames quickly enough. But Berlin, it's going to be down by Gaya, and Plurielica is also down. Meanwhile, Manila is now getting focused by both Active Duty and Gayam, and Manila is it's going to be low. He's going to be low. Meanwhile, we're seeing skirmish happening from Lanny and also someone else camping. But Manila and Rome are both dead. Professor is now down. Second game goes convincingly to Team ID. Yeah, buff IS7. I think I think it needs a buff. I think armor buff would be. I think no gun buff. I wouldn't want to get a gun buff. The accuracy would be better. What we're going to see now, GV only 2 tanks stable in 2K, and Manila killing 2 tanks in the IS4. Meanwhile, Team ID going with Game like 5 tanks just over 2K of damage, which is really good, and they killed 6 tanks in total. Game particularly did do 3 kills there, so it was a really good run from Game. Hello, Kian. T22 is an OP Tonk. Yes, it is an OP Tonk. And we're now on Oasis Palms. So let's bring up the map, shall we? Oasis Palms. It's a very open map. So if you see some TDs operating, which we are now seeing fewer and fewer TDs operating on this map for some strange reasons. But don't be surprised if they are TDs, because the openness of this map means that the TD can sit at the very far back and put some crossfire in. But the problem could also be the mobility. It could take some time, and then when you are into the dunes, then the TD would be a difficult work for TDs to operate in. But BCAT would be very important. Meanwhile, AB will be for cap lead strategies, and C will be for map control strategies. If B would be a cap that you want to cap it with a very strong heavy, like a mouse. At the end of the game, though, obviously, because if you are getting B, then you're likely getting stuck on B and not be able to run away, unless both teams have some interesting ideas. No, Mabbox is not showing up. Mabbox is showing up. Do look back. Before the start of the first game, you know, the odds for the fixtures. GV on the north spawn will be going for A. Meanwhile, Team ID will be going for mostly to C, with all of their E5s coming in for C, and Plurielica and Vegas Light. Will he be able to spot up tanks there? Rome in that Vegas Light, very, very defensive. He is tasked. But would that work there? Plurielica drifting across the dunes there. Rome's trying to make a blind fire, but that doesn't help in any sort of way there. Plurielica is spotted, however. Professor is spotted, but Rome's still not spotted. Meanwhile, GB is going for A, obviously, and now Team ID is going for C, but GV would have cap lead with double IS4s to the caps. Meanwhile, ID is going for an Iron Fist, maybe, but the Professor's getting smacked for his troubles. Campen's trying to hold down with this slope here, but would that work? But he's just going straight up into the city, and GV is under a lot of pressure here. Campen will want to put a shell into Barcelona, and he does, but Campen got smacked by a little bit more hit points, and still GV with a cap lead and hit point pool lead. And Team ID will need to work out a way to flank and counter GV's defensive lineup here. But GV Berlin's getting hit there. GV absolutely must not drop any extra hit points because they have the caps. They have the cap lead. It's all on Team ID to make it a push. If Team ID is able to chip away the hit points of GV, that would not be ideal for them to defend. Cam is getting spotted here. He is looking at B, but GB does not need B. If they go for B, it will actually be a disadvantage for them because they will be fighting for... They will only have 6 tanks to fight, so they will just want to stay behind and be fine. Team ID is from South Korea. Meanwhile, GV is still holding very defensively here. And Team ID is holding here very nicely. Radioactive is spotted. He's trying to put a shell into Moscow. Length spotted. Active duty is spotted. Some crossfire going in, but nothing has been done. But GV still with a slight hit point pool lead. Campen is the only tank which took some damage, but oh, he's taking ever more damage. Radioactive. Those double E5s there a little bit half-hearted whether going in for B or not. And some unnecessary hit point drop have been done for ID. GV, their lineup seems to be a little bit hard to penetrate into, but Professor's getting stripped of hit points. Lane's taking a little bit more hit, but Tokyo taking a little bit of hit there. GV still clasping to their hit clap point, hit point and cap point advantage. So let's call that a clap point advantage. Just a mix of both hit points and also cap points. So clap point advantage to GB. Team ID are skewing their forces into back into the spawn, and I think we're going to see a push coming potentially from Team ID very soon. But Tokyo's getting smacked with his trouble, but Campen is dead for some reason, and now Team ID is coming in. GV, they have a solid hit point, clap point advantage, and I don't think that Team ID will be doing something to shut down the GV's forces, but now Tokyo is getting focused by Team ID's forces, but Tokyo bounced onto Radioactive, and Tokyo will be looking to shut down those tanks there. Plurielica is also dead. Game's trying to come in, and Tokyo is very, very low. Tokyo is dead, and GV's getting B as well. Very, very cheeky cap there, and they got B, and Radioactive's down. GV 985, and I think GV is going to win this one 995, and it's going to be 1000. Apparently GV won this one. Oh, I think the main problem for Team ID is that they don't know how to rotate on Oasis farm. They seem to be very very clueless in what to do, and obviously that IS-7 there wasn't really ideal. Losing that tank, I don't know if it's an Amarak, but losing that tank very in the midst of a rotation is certainly not what you want to see. Campen only doing less than 1k alongside Florielica. Meanwhile, GV with 4 tanks doing more than 2k, and Professor Barcelona doing 3 kills, though they did only 1.2k and around 1.2k each. No, why am I reading the chat? I mean, I'm using Streamlabs. There is a function that the YouTube is paired to the Slops account, and then I could, because I only have one screen, so I could read all your comments, here there, to respond to you, real life. It's not a YouTube bug. I can see it personally. It's a feature. I really like Streamlabs because of this feature. I don't think it's possible on OBS. So Mabbox is back. Yes, Mabbox is always there. What are you saying? I always saying some Korean that I don't understand. Hopefully you're not insulting me. But Team ID definitely would need to do something to oh, they didn't taking note. Vegas Light, that could be a big mistake there, I don't know. But GV with a double T32 and Vegas Lights, GV would absolutely need to work with that advantage they have, and those heavy tanks might want to stay passive because Team ID could go really bullish with those heavies on their side. Now GV on the south side, Team ID on the north side. I don't know about that engine boost on everything. Maybe to get the spots positions very quickly. I didn't notice that, to be honest. Now GV going mostly to C. I think they're just going to cap C straight away because they know they're going to be under no contest at all. And that was a really good read by GV, and they are going to get cap to start. Lanny is down there. Well, he gets spotted, but Prognostic is getting spotted. IDS also getting spotted, and I think GV might be knowing that Team ID is going to make a early push here. Florielica is getting smacked here, and IDS in the mouse, maybe he's going straight into B, and they're not. Barcelona and Doha doing that. Berlin and Doha getting shut down a little bit. Moscow is trying to put a shell from a very, very far position into Lanny. And meanwhile, ID will be getting A, and they're now marching into B. Imperial March happening, and Campen is getting smacked with troubles. But will the mediums and lights on GV team do something about it? Professor is a little bit hit there. But Team ID will have the hit point advantage. But absolutely, Rome and Professor cannot stay behind. They need to do something to shut down those heavy tanks and do something in a platoon. And they're not doing that exactly now. The Team ID's forces are now marching in strong. They're just iron fisting GV and the mediums and lights. They need to do something right now because Berlin is on the adrenaline. He will be shut down very soon. There's Team GV just parking the bus at this moment. Rome is coming to the backside of Lanny. No, he's just circling Lanny here. But where's Professor? Professor needs to come in and support Rome here. And Rome, he gets tracked and he will be in trouble here. Radioactive's trying to come on here, but GV is doing their best to get their hit points back into their favor. But now caps are not in their favor. Barcelona is the first tank down. Meanwhile, we are seeing some skirmishes over to Rome and also Professor, but this is turning out to be a pandemonium situation, and Berlin is going to be a one-shot, and game bounces onto Berlin and IDS down. Moscow is dead. It's going to be a 4-7 and Rome kills off Lanny here. Professor is looking shut down. Radioactive is looking shut down Tokyo. Tokyo is dead. Radioactive, he's down to Professor, but Doha instead is going to be left for the two mediums or lights for the JV side. I don't know what they're doing in this match, and just Team ID just push up and they won this one basically, and Professor is dead finally. Rome is getting B, but that won't do anything at all because now Team ID with 980 cap points, 985 cap points, 990 cap points, 995, and they won the fourth game here. Fourth game goes to Team ID, even with a kill from Rome. That doesn't help anyway. Oh man, that's really not how you play the medium late. They're trying to kind of farm from afar, but you definitely need to kind of try to go to the backside and start flanking. You cannot allow like the team IDs was to bury in like that, especially if they're in heavies. So they absolutely needs to kind of get the isolated tanks of team IDs. I mean, you can do it with a double, if a platoon with Rome and Professor. They did a lot of damage, however. Killing 3 tanks and doing more than 5k, but then we have ID's forces doing more than 2k of damage, 6 tanks doing more than 2k of damage, which is impressive indeed, and the heavies are not defending well, obviously. Now we're on Canal. Let's see about Canal here. Canal is a map that D and A will be easy caps. A will be an easy cap for the north side. D will be an easy cap for the south side. It all depends on capturing pool captures B or C more quickly. In order to decap B, then you have several positions to reset that, and in order to decap C, there are several positions to do that as well. And we are going to see how both teams are going to approach to Canal. And I hope that GB is going to do much better in this one. And let's hope, because GB has been doing really well with the mediums and lights so far. The last game doesn't seem to be their signature medium light play. I hope they can do much better here. I'm sure they could do really good here. And we have Team ID doing their signature triple E100 strategy, and then we have Camping the Gorilla, Plurianica in the E5, and double Vickers Slide played by Activity and Radioactive. Meanwhile, we have GV playing triple IS4 by Barcelona, Doha, Berlin, Professor in the T22, and we have double E5s played by Moscow and Tokyo. Rome will be in the Vickers Slides. Oh, this time GV doing something interesting. They're going for D instead of A. Meanwhile, ID is just going straight into capturing B, I must say. But they're ignoring C as well. They're just going to shut down all the tanks going for B. But I think GV, maybe they've done their homework. They know that ID is going to shut them down on B, so they're just going to ignore B entirely and just going for D instead. But that also would mean Team ID would be getting B here and A here. But GB could also go for C, but they just need tanks to reset C, and I think that is the job of Gorilla there. Porielica will be getting B. Berlin is getting tagged up, but that building is going to shield Berlin, obviously. And Porielica got B. Meanwhile, GV with the biggest light and the T22 just going very, very aggressive. And Team ID with the cap lead, they don't need to cap. They do need to reset C, basically, but Lanny's getting smacked for his troubles. Lanny needs to pull back as soon as possible, but GV will have the hit point pool lead, which is good. Still nothing much happening, but Doha is getting smacked here. He's a little bit, well, he's in a defensive position. How did he even get spotted? Plurielica must be doing a really good job there, Plurielica. Oh, Barcelona's getting smacked as well. Oh, GV losing unnecessary hit points, but Team ID on the other side also lost some hit points there. And GV would... Oh, Berlin saying idiot. Oh, he's definitely not happy from getting smacked from that position. GV, hopefully this is not... this is not a tilt indication, because they don't want to go on tail match points in Team ID, obviously. Oh. Thank you for the subscription. I couldn't pronounce your name, sorry. But Berlin just going straight in. Lanny's in trouble. Oh, Lanny's taking 1,645 there. And GV's definitely making a move. This is descending into a dog's dinner here. And now Lanny's down, and the game is now getting trapped by GV's forces. But Team ID, would they have a response to that? Doha is getting smacked by 640, and he is killed by active duty. But Rome's just going straight into the team's ID forces. So game might put a good edgy shell, but Rome is safe for now. That's it. This is going to be a really chaotic affair. Everything is descending into havoc. Everything is descending into disarray, and game is down, and everything is going to be very chaotic and very catastrophic, cataclysmic. And Plurielica is also down. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. Tokyo is also pretty low, but hit points still neck and neck. This is a very tight call. Nothing is decided yet. Grilla, Campen would be very important to shut down the tanks, but hey, did he put a shell into Berlin? He does. I think Radioactive killed him off in the air, but Moscow, it's going to be low. This is still going to be 4 versus 3 here. Campen, oh, bounced. This is not good. And IDS is down. GEV are holding on very nicely. GEV could be looking to win this one, but Tokyo getting smacked by Campen. But Radioactive is down. This is 4 versus 1, but they are all one shots to Campen. It's just going to be 1 by 1. Campen just needs to kill all tanks 1 by 1. Oh dear, Professor. That was a good shell, but then it is enough. Tokyo killed Campen in the air. What a good ambush from GV there. That was really good indeed. I think you didn't miss a game. Thank you for subscribing, both Roll Tiger and How. This is damage spread for you. GV. Whoa, this is a really good rotation. Very well done by GV, Team ID. Obviously, Campen with the Gorilla doing more than 3k, but they also drop a lot of hit points at the start. And this is how you deal with the triple E100s. The DP of E100 is not really good, but we have 4 kills by Tokyo and Professor Shade doing more than 3k and 6k in total at least. We are back on Canal, and GV will be running high with this win. This is a really promising sign there. Hello, Chris. They will play on 4 maps at most. So after Canal, we are going for Faust if we are heading into tiebreaker. So we're now going with Professor back in the T22 alongside Rome, Barcelona in the IS alongside Berlin and Doha, Moscow in the E5 alongside Tokyo. Meanwhile, Campen's playing on the Leopard 1, activating the double 50Bs, and then we have game in the Vegas Light, Lanny in the E5 alongside Plurielica, and IDS will be in the I7, and then it's going to be a double 50Bs, which means definitely Team ID on the North spawn. They're going to reset C, obviously. This is no-brainer. Hello, Blitz King. Hello, me. if the stream is buffering, which is not the case, what I've seen so far, then refresh your page. It should be playing in the background. Well, we're going to see GV going mostly to D and C. Meanwhile, Team ID is going for both A and B, and I think Team ID are they going to reset C here, but Team ID have no one in this bush, no one's there to reset C on the right side of the circle, but that doesn't matter because Team ID were getting B uncontested and they were getting A as well, and they're also getting A, but who will get a cap lead first? GV also get a cap. Oh, I think Team ID would not have a cap lead this time. It's all about Team ID to make a push, and you saw what happened on Oasis Palms. Canal is an even more difficult map to make the rotation, especially on Canal from the north side over the south side. Team ID needs to show us exactly how they're going to rotate in the situation. IDS in the R7. Oh, he's trying to put a shell, but of course no one's going to be on C. Don't think about that. That would be a little bit stupid to do so. To still be on C after it's been capped. But nothing eventful is happening at the moment. Ooh. Tokyo's getting smacked a bit. Berlin is spotted, but Rome! It's a blind fire into Rome! Oh my goodness me, I wonder what Rome is thinking at this point. Oh, he's pulling back. He does not want to get hit again, but that was some really good blind fire from Team ID, I suppose. Oh, I don't know if Team ID realized that they did a blind fire that Campen spotted. But he needs to be careful. That could have been a grave mistake if that shot connected, but Campen is running away for his troubles. Moscow is getting spotted, but the double 50Bs by Team ID are ready for a push anytime. Moscow is spotted as well. Lanny is spotted, but clap points are in favor of GV, so oh, I think we're going to see a push from Team ID here. GV, are they ready for this? We're seeing the double 50Bs just going straight in, but Radioactive is just staying behind here. Active DT needs to put his clip into Barcelona. He does put a good clip there, and he's on the drum reload. Meanwhile, Active DT needs to stay behind this building. He's going to stay back behind this building. This is a really good game, just going straight up, and he's going to pick up Barcelona potentially, but Polaric is down to one shot, and the double 50Bs and the Radioactive is very low. Polaric is down, Radioactive is also down, but we are seeing JV responding really well to the push from Team ID, but we're heading into the disaster area, but the Professor is down. Meanwhile, Active Duty is doing a 1 vs 2 against the GB tanks here. Berlin is going to be very low, but Gayam is trying to running away from the ordeal here, but Gayam is a one-shot. Clap points is hit points is in favor of GV, but cap points are in favor of Team ID, and Gayam needs to stay alive. Gayam needs to stay alive, but he couldn't. He is a little bit too greedy. He's trying to put a shell into Berlin. It must stay alive, but I do understand because GV, those E5s in Doha is trying to shut him down. IDS must absolutely put that shell into Berlin. No mistakes are allowed. And he does put a shell into that. This is still very close call. ID has 3 caps, but IDS still hang on. IDS could even put a shell into Doha. And he does get off Doha. And Tokyo could be looking to shut down IDS if he's not careful enough, and IDS shut down. And this is 1 vs 2. Moscow is at the very far back. Oh, GV. They need the caps. They need to shut down Lenny with the reactive armor. That would buy ID time. Lenny does not want to score an ammo rack here. He does not want to be ammo racked. He does not want that. And now Team ID will be winning this one. What an amazing game from Team ID and GB as well. That was a really good response on that rotation, rotation there from Team ID. But in the end, I just don't know what happened. I was just awe-inspired by the play from both teams. I think it's just down to the shot effectiveness Thank you for subscribing, Carol and Tian. This game is dumb. Ooh, I don't think it's dumb. Meanwhile, we're seeing Doha doing more than 3k and doing 3 kills as well. Rome, the T22. Doha not able to finish off IDS. I think that was a huge mistake. And if he did that, I think this game could have been Team ID's, and Team ID made every shot count. Obviously, Paul Realica only doing 490. That's not good indeed. But Rome will be doing more than 2k. Moscow doing more than 2k. Lanny active DD camp and IDS doing more than 2 games well already active. Got shut down pretty early on. I believe the 50B shouldn't be the first tanks going leading the charge because it's pretty weak on the side armor. So it's it for Team ID, and this is it for the Blitz Cup Preliminaries. It's all over, but do stay behind. I'm going to show you something very, very interesting indeed. But then we'll start off with if Fee's still playing, which is not the case. Then I will, which is not the case, I will be speaking to Fujits, and then after that I will bring you my top 5 picks of my from my stream in the Blitz Cup Preliminaries. And don't leave just yet. You can still get your coins and just watch all the replays, tournament replays there, and you will get your coins in the end. So don't worry about that. So we have Feast 4-2 against HLV. So now we're going to see a table here. Feast will be finishing the Blitz Cup Preliminaries with 7 points and 28 wins. That's very impressive indeed. Hello, Fujit's Curse.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, you?
Yeah, interesting games, to be
yeah.
perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, Feast are unbeaten, that's it.
Yes.
They shouldn't have been, to be fair, shouldn't have gone to a decider. There was a slight error on the part of HLV on Canal in both games, to be fair. In the first game, they took a double 50B.
Yes.
But Feast managed to get the 2 caps before they did, which made the 50B redundant at the A cap, meaning they had to sort of push.
Yes.
On the second game of Canal, yes. HLV fast capped D and C.
Yes.
They had the game in their hands. They knew Feast had to push.
Yes.
They positioned their tanks really nicely and really well.
Yes.
And then for some strange, unbeknown reason, and Saruzu in the T22 decided to push on his own down the flank, spotted 3 tanks, but then he was in a world of pain, tried to get out of there. He got pummeled, and it literally swung the game into Feast's favor.
Yeah, but then didn't HLV push on the other side because that T22 got spotted up 3 tanks and got pushed by 3 tanks, so they have like 6 tanks against 4 tanks there.
Well, what happened was Feast had 3 tanks stacked up down the D route push, and they had the other 4 pushed onto the C route.
Okay.
As soon as the T22 of Saruzu went down the D route, which I don't know why he did that, he didn't need to do that, all alone, by the way.
Yeah.
Feast just decided, they wiped him out and then decided to do a double push. Push down the D lane, push through the C cap, really put HLV on the back foot, and HLV just couldn't do anything about it. They were a tank down, being pushed on 2 flanks.
Yes. Oof.
So I'm not trying to be too harsh on Saruzu, but I'd love to understand if it was a misunderstanding, if it was a wrong call,
maybe a bit ambitious. Maybe thinking that Feast rotation would be a little bit compact, but Feast they are masters of rotation, so you cannot
Seriously though, if you go back and look at the game,
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see it from the point of view that I'm looking at, and I'm still struggling to understand what was going through Saruzu's mind.
I don't know, basically. Maybe I'll
Because he
have a
didn't. He was literally he was on his own. He was isolated.
yes.
And I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to say, Saruzu just suddenly decided, but it could have been a misunderstanding. It could have been the wrong call. I don't know. Is the honest answer. But that was the turning point for the game. HLV had it in control. They all they had to do was wait for Feast, and they knew Feast can only come down two flanks. They can push into C or they can push down on the D cap. That is it.
Right.
That is it. That's all they can do. So HLV had control of that game until Saruzu in the T22 did what he did, and then it literally swung completely in favor of Feast.
Right.
So interesting games. What about your games anyway?
Oh, my games. Before I say that, Boone 3-4 against Slow, and this is going to be the this is going to be a fourth time that Boone lost 3-4 against a team. So bad luck, terrible luck to Boone. I mean, if they convert those 4-4-3s into their favor, they will be in the top 4. So I feel sorry for them. But I just look very dominant against GB, and those 2 wins by GB are really, really good wins. I think first win it is if I remember correctly, Oasis Palms, but that was really due to ID's hesitation, and they look really clueless on how to rotate, because they lost an IS7 during the rotation at a very far behind position, like overlooking to B, and after that they just have like 1k hit for disadvantage, and it became a very steep uphill battle for ID to put it back, and GV just kind of pushed a bit on the other side as well, shutting down Plurielica and the T22, and GV won that game. And then we have GV on Canal, one of the games where ID took their signature triple E100s, and ID tried to. They had a cap lead with A and B, but they don't have the hit pool lead. But GV just make a sudden ambush, but coming from nowhere, and they just shut down those E100s very, very quickly. But yeah, but then fair enough, the E100s also took a lot of hits before the push even came. So it was only due to GV just making that push, and the Gorilla, ID took Gorilla. That tank did a lot of damage, but then because it doesn't have a lot of armor, in the end, GV 4 versus 1 against that lonely Gorilla, and Gorilla couldn't even kill one of the tanks, or one shots actually, so it was a really good win from GV, good push from them. And the final game was just mayhem.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was just mayhem in the end. We are thinking that GV made an exceptionally good response to ID's push. Once again, ID was hesitating a bit in the rotation, and this is something that I'm really worried about ID in the Blitz Cup. When they don't have the hit point advantage, their rotation hasn't been the best I've seen so far. And against teams like Feast and HLV, I do feel worried about them. But Team ID clutched that game in the end, because GV bounced quite a lot of shells, and especially with, I think it was, is it Doha, I think, in the IS4, unable to kill off that that one shot IS7, and he got killed in the end. The IS7 managed to survive.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, and then one of the tanks from GV captured B, but that it was too little too late, because I was on like 980 cap points, something like that, and 1 versus 2 for ID, and ID won that game. So it was a clutchy game for Team ID, but I think GV, lots of their problems, for example the Vineyards, where Team ID won 2 games there, GB dropped a little bit too many hit points at the start, and a little bit unnecessary hit points as well, and it made it somewhat easy for Team ID to just do an Iron Fist. And you also saw it on Oasis Palms, where Team ID just did it with full heavies, and they just pushed onto GV's defending heavies, and
Wow.
GV heavies just couldn't do anything about that. And a bigger problem comes from the mediums and lights from GV side. Didn't really do anything to flank from the backside of the ID's forces, like what RN could have done in this situation. So
Sure.
I think ID they need to work on that on rotating under a head point under a cap disadvantage. Right.
I mean, unfortunately, this is the only time I've streamed HLV this tour.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't know if they were putting everything into it today, if they were just using it as a practice, or what. But let's say, for argument's sake, they were using it not as a practice, but they were putting all into it.
Yeah.
The only thing, I mean, HLV are looking good. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
They're looking focused in good in that respect.
Yeah.
However, there is a struggle with HLV on their focus fire. Well, there was today. Now, on Oasis Palms, they struggled to focus fire compared to Feast. I mean, Feast's focus fire was very good. They were isolated. I mean, don't get me wrong, HLV won the game. They played a very good strat. They stuck the mouse in the town. Feast sent 3 or 4 tanks to take on the mouse.
Yes.
That gave HLV the understanding that they had 3 tanks isolated and they could push with their 5 tanks, which they did. But their focus fire, when then Feast rotated back round, seemed to be lacking a little bit. And they seemed to be picking out individual targets. Now, like I said, I don't know if they were playing it as a practice. I don't know if they were giving it its all. I don't know if they felt confident they were going to win that game. But the focus fire just didn't seem to be as good as it should be, if you know what I mean.
I see. I mean, actually, the games I streamed HLV did okay focus fire. They did fine. So it's kind of surprising that you were saying HLV doesn't have good focus fire. And
well, it's just like, I mean, if you go back and revisit it and you see that,
yeah,
you'll see that yes, it can be done. But
yes.
But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they were playing a practice, knowing that there's realistically nothing to gain from this game,
Yeah.
or just testing to see Feast, or if they were giving it their all. And like I said, I've not streamed them that much, so I can't really turn around and say, I'm looking at all the other games. But it just seemed in that game on Oasis Farms, their focus fire was a little bit suspect. That's all.
I see. But I mean, according to you, then Feast just looked a little bit invincible heading into Blitz Cup.
Mm-hmm. Well, Feast do, yeah. I mean, they're looking tasty. They're looking a tasty Feast, as I said.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, speaking to Mabbox yesterday, he was saying that there's still a few things he'd like to tweak with the team.
Yes.
They've now got a month,
yes,
realistically,
yeah,
to refine themselves a bit further.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, looking the way they're looking from this tour, they've got to be the firm favourites. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because they played a great tour.
Yes.
It's been brilliant.
Yeah. I will be privileged to stream Feast in the Blitz Cup.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, that would be really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the way Asia's stacking up.
Yes.
HLV and Feast, if they carry on the way they're playing, that's going to be the final. To be honest with you.
Yes.
ID are a great team, and I don't know what's gone wrong with them through this qualifier.
No.
Because they certainly have the team, and they certainly have the players and the capability to be up there challenging. They certainly do.
Yeah.
But something seems to have sort of misfired a little bit for them in the early parts of this tour.
True.
The same with GV. I mean, GV, there's always been a sort of cloud over GV. Are they prepared? Are they ready? Are they experienced enough for Tier 10?
Yes.
Well, yes, they are, but when they're coming up against teams like Feast, HLV, and ID, they are struggling a little bit.
Yes.
And I think they're struggling not because of their capability or their skill. I think it's their strats at Tier 10 that's struggling.
Yeah, potentially yes. Meanwhile, Cats 4-3 against RN, and Cats will be finishing this tournament.
Well, RN, what happens? What's happened to RN? Seriously?
Seriously, I don't know. I thought they are a firm favorite in the Asia on the Asia server, but they evaporated fantastically bad.
Absolutely, they've disappeared massively. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't understand what has happened to RN.
I don't.
I mean, this is a good team, a very capable Tier 10 clan.
Yes.
That's gone basically through this qualifiers with nil points, and I don't understand what's happened there. I really don't.
We have to ask the manager of RN to speak for that.
Yeah, if anybody from RN is around, any member of the team,
Yeah.
presumably captain, is there any chance you could join us one day, either with the Friday Nights with Wild, if he's still doing it because he's going to take a break, or the Fujit's Coffee Chat?
I will do it. Yeah, I will still do it. Maybe, yeah.
Or Fujit's Coffee Chat on Saturday,
Yes.
and sort of give us an overview of what's happened. Because to be honest with you, RN was down as a firm favourite. They really were.
They really were.
Mabbox, they've had a very disappointing tour.
Yeah, Mabbox even said they're going to win all their games, and now they didn't win all their. They didn't even win one game. So Mabbox would be executed in this. If he's
absolutely
no.
But it is a shocker. It is a shocker that RN didn't win a single game.
No.
To be fair,
No.
and I can only think that something's happened there. I don't know what. I don't know. Maybe they haven't updated their strats, and the teams are wise to that. I just don't know, and I haven't streamed them realistically, so I can't really say.
No, but low. It's a surprise, really. 3 points, but only with 15 wins. But then 3 points is really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, Low did well. Cats did well. Cats almost got there. They falling at the final hurdles, but close. They were close.
They were close.
Boone
was just sheer unlucky.
Well, yeah, I mean Boone, but I'm not surprised. I am surprised with the top four because I thought RN would be there.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
true.
I thought the top four would have been somewhere along the lines of Feast, ID, RN, and potentially either GV or HLV.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yes.
So RN not being in there was a bit of a shocker. HLV coming second is fantastic, and I love that.
Yes.
Because they're a great team, but they were a wild card for me. Mm-hmm. But I'm chuffed to bits that they've come second there, and they had a fantastic tour. They just need to make sure that they continue that going through, and I'm no doubt Boa Sorte will kick them to make sure that come the tournament in November, they are ready and eager and all fired up, because they certainly do have the possibility and the chance if they carry on playing like this.
I totally agree, and I'm very impressed by HLV as well. That 4-3 comeback against Team ID was certainly a highlight for for HLV. Originally predicted Feast, ID, GB, and RN in line with Mabbox prediction, and HLV is certainly a surprise, but not far behind. I think originally Mabbox predicted that to finish at the 5th place, and the top 4 battle was originally much tighter than it's supposed to be, and Feast. I don't know why Mabbox said Feast will only win 4 fixtures, but in the end they won all of their fixtures. So I don't need a big tweaking to that bot though. But that is what it is. Yeah,
well, that is what it is. I mean, I'm sure that during this downtime now before the final, ID are going to go and reevaluate themselves because they are a good team.
Yes.
I'm sure Campon will kick them and try and rectify some of the mistakes that they made.
Yes.
GV, guys, you need to look for better strats, to be fair.
Is it better strats? I don't think that's a priority because I think kind of the dropping unnecessary hit points is a bigger mistake, and then sometimes you need to re-evaluate their mediums and light. Sometimes they have been caught a bit too defensively.
I think that's because they're used to the tier 8 side of the tournament scene.
Potentially, but they're in top 4, so they're in top 4.
No, they're a great team. They're a great team,
Yeah.
But it's like there are teams and there are teams, and GV need to contest all the way up to the top now. They're in the top 4, yes.
Yeah.
But don't do an RN.
No.
Get into the top 4 and come bottom. You're in there for a reason, guys.
Yeah.
Refine it, and get up there and really challenge. Because they've got the capability to do that.
Yes.
They really have.
They're the players.
So it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting to see how it all pans out in November. The teams now have a bit of a break here on Asia.
Yes.
Not a big break, however. It's when are they up and running? Let me just work out.
8th to the 9th of November.
There you go. It's the 8th to the 9th of November.
No, 7 to 8. Sorry, 7 to 8. Not
7 to 8. So they have literally got they've got the least amount of time to everybody.
Yeah.
Because Asia is the 7th to the 8th, EU is the 21st to the 22nd, and NA is the 28th to the 29th.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so the guys in Asia are it is just shy of a month for them.
Yes.
It's just shy of a month.
Yeah. Meanwhile, nothing much for tonight. It will be a very huge game, huge night for the EU server.
Tonight is massive.
Massive.
Tonight is massive.
Very Fidget and African Games taking to stream one of the most important matches, which is going to be Endgame versus Win, because the winner of that fixture will advance to the top 4. The loser of that, if it's Win, then if Immortals won against Raid, which is going to be streamed by Rip, which is a non-important fixture to follow, the loser of that fixture will be out of top 4. So the situation is, if Raid won against Immortals, the winner of the fixture of Endgame versus Win would be in the top 4. Meanwhile, if Immortals won against Raid, provided that win against Endgame, Immortals will be in the top 4. Otherwise, they will still be out of top 4.
Yeah, and I've just logged into the EU, into my EU account. So as Wild Ones Alp is saying there, this game here between Endgame and Win is massive. It's massive, and that is being streamed for the reward stream by Every Good Name Is Taken.
Yes.
But it's also being streamed by me. Now, if Win can beat Endgame, and Endgame are not firing on all their cylinders realistically.
Yes.
But they are a fantastic clan with fantastic experience and great players, and they may up their game today because there is a risk they may fall out. Yeah. However, even if they beat Win, the Raid game is vitally important for Raid.
No, even if Endgame beat Win, they are in top 4 anyway.
No, I'm talking about Win now.
Okay.
So Raid need to beat Immor. They need to beat Immor. Simple as that. If Immor beat Raid, I think doesn't Win go through on the most wins?
Win goes through by the head-to-head result because Win won against
exactly by the head-to-head result because they beat Raid.
Raid and Immortals.
Raid against Immor is a massive game as well.
Yes.
It's really all to play for tonight on EU.
Yes.
There is the last 2 spots are not determined on the EU server. So spots 3 and 4 for the top 4 are not determined yet.
No.
And it could be Endgame, Win, Raid. It could even be Souls, or it could it could be Immor.
It couldn't be Souls.
No, it can't be Souls, but it could be Immor, I believe.
Yes, it could be Immor. Yes. Yeah. However, I'll be sure looking for Souls, so Actually, I would advise everyone to watch Win versus Endgame instead. Fujit's or Every Good Name's Second stream, or even Rip's stream if you want to follow Immortals versus Rain, because these two fixtures are the most important. Meanwhile, for me, I'll just be chilling, ice cream chilling.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't have ice cream in my freezer, so I can't do ice cream chili on the stream. But
And then
yeah,
for those of you on North America, I'm
yes,
streaming the reward stream later today,
yes,
which is also a really vital, important game
yes.
because it is Rain, who are currently leading there, against Pincer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Pincer, who are normally guaranteed top four, are not in the top four.
Yes.
And for Pincer to get through to the top four,
Yeah.
they are going to have to really turn Rain over
Yeah.
and hope that I think I can't remember who it is, I believe. Let me just check
Or
because
Ishtar.
I need to make sure of this.
Is it Ishtar?
Ishtar,
Yeah.
yeah. So Pincer need to turn over Rain 4-0 realistically
Mm-hmm.
to progress.
Yes.
Where Ishtar have got, I believe,
Did you just?
what?
I think
What?
you just said Ishtar.
No, Ishtar. They've got Astro MM. So they will be confident of that game.
Yes.
They really will be confident of that game. Whereas so there's no guarantee at the moment that
No.
Pincer are through. It's as simple as that. So it's another big game tonight on
Yeah.
NA.
I did see some games of Pincer against GMA, and they did look a little bit did look like struggling, to be honest with you.
You know, GMA have been they've been red hot this
They've
tour.
been red hot. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, they have. GMA have been red hot. They've been really impressive. I mean, okay, you could turn around and say, yeah, but what about Void? And Rain. Well, Rain and Void. Well, Void are on equal points with GMA. To be
Yes.
fair, they both
Yes.
won. They both got 5 points. Rain have been dominating. They are undefeated.
Yes.
But GMA have been very impressive indeed. So it's all to go for tonight. Still on NA and it's undecided, and it's still undecided on EU.
Yes.
So that's it. That's the stream over. We only had one game.
Yeah, that's not a
We were
stream
talking
over
to
for
Jack.
me. That's not a stream over for me. I have prepared something for you guys. So, I have prepared my top 5 games. I believe I streamed
Yeah,
in the Blitz Cup Preliminaries. So don't leave yet. You can still get your rewards. Watch all the replays, and I think they last for more than 20 minutes. So, I hope Wargaming's not going to be mad at that.
no, the counter stops anyway, so don't worry about it. It will
Oh.
stop eventually.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So you'll be
So-
fine. So just go ahead and watch. Just keep watching, and yeah, I selected these 5 games. I think they are the most exciting ones I've seen so far on Asia server. So hope you enjoy this compilation I've made. So until then, I'll be saying goodbye to you all, and see you in around 6 hours on the EU server. I'll be following local episodes, and Fujit once again will be following Endgame versus Win. So see you all
Yes,
then.
I will.
Bye.
And with that, I'm also going to end my stream now. Guys, thank you for jumping in. It's been a pleasure hosting you. I've been Fujit. That has been the end of the Blitz Cup qualifiers here for Asia. Congratulations to Feast, HLV, ID, and GV all qualifying to the next round, which is on November the whatever it was again. I've forgotten.
78th.
7th and 8th. So big thank you for jumping in and watching my stream. Big massive thanks to all the mods for keeping the chat happy, despite Sarah inadvertently pressing the wrong button and quieting and timing out somebody she didn't mean to. I'm sure she'll be forgiven.
Meanwhile, yeah. Apart from Element showing up for once, there were no moderators tonight, but the chat was still really good. Like the chat is pretty civil. I really like that.
Yeah, well, that's always the way.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will catch you again later for those of you watching EU and for those of you watching NA. Until then, enjoy your Sunday and have a good one. And as they say on Life of Boris, stay cheeky breaky.
Bye for now.
Oof, there we go.
We taking double as Force played by Ball Sortie left behind. Double Mouse will be played by 7710 and Enjoy Solukia. We have double T22s played by Blue Planet and from Mabbox, finished off by Sarutsu in the Victor's Light. Team ID linked in the 215B. Lally in the IS4, we have the double mouse played by IDS and Radioactive. Campen in the Sheridan, and we have double E5s played by Gaiam and Plorielica. So this time, Team ID, they love cap lead, so they are going for A and B, while HLV are looking to play for map control. Let's head over to Fremabis, and he's getting spotted by Campen. Will Campen land a good missile shots? He needs to be careful, you know what happened last time of Team ID, I think also against HLV, or is it RN, I forgot. But is he going to put? No, he's going to miss that, but he's going to get out of this relatively safely. He knows that HLV are going mostly for, see here, some blind shells happening, but they couldn't connect anyhow. Team ID getting A, but we have some Sarutsu in that Vicky's Light spawning up Mouse, very important information indeed. And HLV, what could they make of what did he shoot? He tried to shoot ideas but hit that building instead. Good thing that building is made of titanium, it's not going to collapse with that amount of power generated by that shell. And Team ID will be getting B as well. But Ball Sortie already got a hit here. He needs to be really careful with the IS-4 here. This position is not really good for tanks without good gun depression. IDS also spotted. But we're going to see a pretty much a dull affair, but HLV definitely would be the aggressor here because they only have one cap. Team ID has 2 caps. Cap points will be ticking heavily against HLV here, and they must absolutely make them to stop that from ticking too much against them. Cap are getting spotted, but Ball Sortie still hang on in that spot. But he didn't put a good missile because Ball Sortie is pretty close in terms of the XY distance, or with Campen, so Campen, that missile definitely too much velocity, cannot get a shell into Ball Sortie. And the double mouse from HLV are barreling into B here. Ball Sortie might be a little bit of trouble here, but he manages to pull the Team I's forces over to C. And look at now, HLV, they found a target that could be easily focused, radioactive, that is, they absolutely needs to kill that, although, like, Mouse is not the tank you want to focus for, but unfortunately that's the only tank that HLV can focus at the moment. And they could be also going for Plorielica, and Sarutsu needs to go to the side armor potentially off the radioactive, because now HLV are bouncing shots to radioactive, but Sarutsu got radioactive. IDS is trying to come in and trying to spearhead this. The Team ID forces are now making the counter push onto the double mouses. The HLV mouse are spearheading this, which is a good call, but Plorielica breaks through the mouse front line here. The mouses are trying to create a choke point, and Ball Sortie is now getting rushed by the Team ID's forces. Ball Sortie is down, Plorielica is also down, and IDS, I don't think HLV will be wanting to go for Team ID here, but HLV with more than 2k of people advantage, and I'm definitely sure HLV would just need to calm, and they could do it. But Campen, a really good missile into the mouse, and this is getting really close to the IDS. And 7710 puts a really good shot into Linked and Blue Planet. It's a chaos here, you know, the commentary is also chaos. But look at what Team ID here, they're trying to get all the caps at the moment. They must absolutely do something to stop that from happening. But that mouse is still very healthy. And B, however, is getting a cap stop from HLV forces. Sarutsu is definitely going for A at this point. And Camp and Team ID, if they manage to kill off 7 wall, which they did now. They have a really, their distances, touches, inches away from snatching a win. But HLV got another tank as well. Campen is the last man standing, and HLV will be winning by caps at this point. What a game by HLV that was, and this is a win from HLV. Oh my goodness me, that was so tense indeed. Well, oof, HLV, absolutely amazing drop here. Team IDs, yes, they got a good idea with the double mouse, spearheading the entire ID's forces, but they bounce a lot of shots as well, but I don't think they have bounced enough. I think that's a little bit gibberish, but hello both Huyan and also Boss Title 1. HLV have 6 times doing more than 2k of damage. It's just only 1.3k of damage difference between the tanks, so it's a really good sign that they are focusing fire relatively well. Team ID Plurielica, unfortunately, breaking through the mouse front line is not the best idea, only managing to put 1 shell into the enemy, and Campen Sheridan killing 2, doing more than 2k. 5 loss at Plurielica. Cat's going for 50B with Mabbox and Taunt Cat eyeline in the IS4. Yoga and Govinda, the T22 Spartan, and the E5 alongside Justice Server, Comic Kitten, and the Figure Slides. Now this time ID going for A, which is really weird. I was expecting them to go for a city side because for the cap advantage and so on. This is a blind fire happening, landing no shells there. But the Yoga will get within the trying to cap A, got spotted, Campen spotted it as well. But Campen's going to spot a lot of tanks crossing into the caves. Cat's also going for A on the south spawn, from the south spawn. It's a good HE shell from Yoga. A splash, but it's good. It's a really good HE shell. At least it's doing damage. But Cat's potentially trying to force capture the A side. Radioactive taking a bit of hit there. But ID just holding the line very defensively. Cat's dropping hit points a bit. And Team ID with hit point advantage here. Oh, IDS taking a bit of hit there. Oh, taking 1,000 hit points. It needs to stay safe, however. Eyelion is going to put a good shell into IDS. He does, which is a really good shell because I think this was a difficult shell. IDS is angling his turret a bit. And Campen misses. Oh, just fix the server, bounce onto Campen. Oh, another HE shell to Campen, but Spartan took a hit bit. Campen took another HE shell. Lanny took a bit of hit, and gradually Cat's getting back the hit point advantage. They're still holding on, but they're playing with fire at the moment. It's like ants running around a hot pot. ID, I would say they have better map control here, but the E100s, they dropped a lot of hit points as a result as well. Land needs to stay safe. The team IDs, active duty Plurielica coming in. Active duty particularly. We're looking to shut down the side. Our bounces onto Spartan 617, and this is not looking good at all. But a splash from Spartan onto active duty. Now Team ID just going to barrel in. They need to kill off Just Fix the Server as soon as possible. Good track shot, but tracked at the leeward side of that mountain here. Spartan is down, and it's going to be a 7 versus 6. It's a really good call from Team ID here. Just Fix the Server is very low indeed. He's down, Lenny is down, and it's going to be a 6 versus 5. This is not looking good for Cat Soul. Eyelight is horrendously isolated. Look at Game and also Activity Browning, and Radioactive kills off Lion. And I think Mabbox is going to be killed by Campen very soon. And he does get killed off by Mabbox. Radioactive, Game coming in. Yoguide desperately running away. He's trying to go for Plurielica and so on. So many action going on here. This Yoguide Yofida would not be long for this world, however. He's going for Campen. Puts a good show to Campen, Kami Kitten, and Yogang and Fina would be last men standing. They got killed by both radioactive and active duty simultaneously. Wow. What a game. Radioactive killing 3 tanks, doing more than 2k of hit point advantage, hit points of worth of damage. Lion in the ice fall, doing 3k damage almost, and Yogang 2.4k. However, changes something. Kale, don't get me wrong, I love Kale. That vegetable is good. I guess it should be quite expensive in other regions, but here it's pretty cheap, and I love that vegetable. It's good with anchovies. You will not want to miss kale with anchovies, which is absolutely brilliant. Right, Team ID going on the south side. They're going for both A and B. Well, Boone. This time they have another idea. They're going for C. Captain's just marching in, barreling in. He spots other tanks. He spots a Mystic as well. But they know Boone will be going for C, and C is going to be quick capped by Boone. Only one tank, but Florianica also spotted Hazard, but he took a really good shot by Hazard here. It was a pretty far target, and he is driving in on 40, so kudos to him. But Mystic got a little bit punished there for crossing. The ID got A as well, but Boone would have to hit cap advantage this time round. Oh, Game took a bit of a hit there, which is not ideal. This is turning out to be a dull affair so far. We're just going to be a little bit worried whether I have not got the right scene, which as a matter of fact, I didn't. I got the right scene. Nothing much to say. A triple mouse strategy. Team ID currently with a little bit of a advantage. But Boone also with a triple mouse. It's going to be a very dull affair. Boone doesn't need to do anything much. They just need to be wary of dropping some unnecessary hit points, while Team ID we need to figure out which flank they want to push. But Boone already pushing up relatively aggressively. They spotted up both Activity and Captain. Alpha Maker took a bit of hit. Captain also took a bit of hit. Red will win, which is Team ID. Hello, ABD. Okay, has it also spotted? Well, Linian says, yup. Oh. This is still nothing much to watch. I mean, we are heading into the 2.5 minute mark for the battle. Florianica took a little bit more hits. So Team ID, they're doing something here. They're going to capture B with double mouse. What is Boone going to do here? This reminds me of XR versus Team ID again. Team ID doing the same thing exactly with a double mouse cap strat. And what XR did, they rotated on the other side over to their spawn, and it didn't work for them. So will it work for Boone this time round? We will see. But Florianica is isolated. He knows he's isolated, and Hazard is tasked to shut him down. Florianica in the mouse. This is not he's utterly isolated. But maybe that's the strategy of Team ID, because now they're going to rotate and they are looking to shut down Mystic, and puts a really good max roll into Mystic by Campen. Lanny, Activity and Game are now marching forward, and they're going to shut down Mystic. Mystic, oh dear, he needs to run away safely. But he has no more route to run, because Florianica is looking at him intensively while IDS is down. Team ID. Mystic is also down. Some kind of lag happening over here. Alpha Omega is going to shut down Companies. Companies trying to capture C. This is still very close to call. Points still neck and neck, but cap points are in favor of Team ID at the moment. There's a cap still happening on B, but Hatset has gone into A, but he will be a tank out for Boone, which is not going to be good, where GG's now getting focused and Plurianica is finally dead. But James Bond is also dead under the hands of Radioactive. This is 4 versus 4. Boone, they have 2 caps on the field. The cap points are now finally in favor of Boone. But Alpha Omega must absolutely survive. A game is down, and now Boone with 930. This is turning out to be a very, very tight call. I don't know which team is going to win, and Boone is currently going for Team ID. Alpha Omega is down to a one-shot now. He absolutely must penetrate that shell into Lanny here, and he does really good job here. Cass going in, where he's killed, but Lanny can land a good shell into Alpha Omega, and he is killed as well. And Hansen has come in, and she's trying to shut down Lanny. 3 versus 2, Boone, 915, but now Team ID are capping 2 bases at the moment. Lanny's killed, no. And Boone, 995. 1000, the 4th game goes to Boone. What a game that was. Oh my god. Man, it was a really brilliant game by Boone. It is what I want to say. Really exciting stuff. Boone, triple mouse, racking up more than 10k of damage. Well, they are definitely man of the match, I must say. And Team ID, I think they are caught a bit. They have a good idea in capturing B, but I think they kind of dropped too many hit points unnecessarily, and I think that was their downfall. However, by no means they played poorly. It was still a very tense affair. This is a very, very good match to see, to watch. Campen doing more than 2k, obviously, but well, we don't know. But we need to hope that they won't crumble under the immense stress imposed by the forces of the sun or the gravity. Hello, thank you for subscribing Maxi channel. Thank you for support. And RN now going for both A and B. HLV going for a quick decap at the start. And our Cancer, it's going for a very different route in sporting. He spotted up Enjoy Solo Q and Lean and Blue Planet as well. But actually Pisces is the one swinging up most of the tanks here. RN with the information, and they know there is someone on A, but they don't know anyone on A. From Abyss and also Sarutsu are flanking from behind. Let's head down to these tanks here. Would they make a difference here? Would they get spotted in this kind of cheeky, sneaky flank? We'll see very soon. But meanwhile, XLV has already crossed down to the crater. RN, I think they're having a good idea here. I think they're going to try to shut down Enjoy Zero Cube, but the double T-20s have already come in to shoot the backside of the IS force, and I think RN, they need to make a push absolutely as soon as possible because the IS force are in trouble. And Enjoy Solo Q is now getting pincered by the double T-22s, but the Chimpanzee has gone down and dropped the reactive armor. They are trying to get lean here. Chimpanzee is now down to 916. 7710 is dead, but the Chimpanzees are one shot here. He is not long for this world. Cancer has already come in, and they are trying to focus Super Conqueror, which I think is a good choice. But Chimpanzee must absolutely survive, but HLV are not killing that off. I don't know why, but he's a one-shot, and it's just simple. But from Abyss bounces onto Chimpanzee. I think that was a crucial mistake from HLV, and from Abyss took a really big hit, and Chimpanzee Libra finally dead. Abyss is also dead. Gemini, how is he surviving for that long? And HLV, that double T-22 strategy is backfiring, but I don't think that was the reason why it backfires. It was them not being able to kill off Chimpanzee quickly, and now the double T-22 trying to shut down Enjoy Solo Q while Ares is hanging on for Boa Sorte. Pisces has already flanked around, and he killed, and Virgo killed, and Joy solo killed. Gemini is a one-shot, but it's going to be a 3 versus 4 hit points, actually now in favor of HLV. But Blue Planet is a one-shot. Virgo is very healthy indeed, and he is dead. Blue Planet is dead. Virgo still really healthy, and we have double T20s that could make absolute wonders for their DPM. But they need to put their shots in. But Cancer bounces onto Sarutsu, and the HLV forces are looking to shut down the T20s. Obviously, this is the main priority. And I would help lead. They just need to stay calm and collected. And Sarutsu, receives a non-hit from Virgo. I thought it was a miss, but it wasn't in the end. Boasorte bounced onto Virgo. That's not ideal at all. But Pisces and also Cancer have both shut down Sarutsu. Last man standing for Boasorte. That was a much better performance by RN this time round. Cancer going to the side armor of Boasorte, puts a really good shot there. Virgo can shut down Boasorte. And the second game goes to RN. The double T20s of RN definitely have done a fabulous job here. Oh, don't tell me to shut up, please. I'm commentating. So here we go. HLV. HLV have Sarutsu doing more than 4k damage. That T22 strategy definitely does work to a certain extent, but I would blame the IS Force. I don't know, like, they haven't done quite enough, and Super Conqueror isolating himself doesn't help matters at all. But you can see the double T22s by the RN's forces, Pisces and Cancer, did more than 3k and more than 6k in total, killing 3 tanks as well. So let's head up high, shall we? RN also has north side this time. They're going for both A. They're going to do something different this time. They're going for B as well. GV also going back for A and B. Meanwhile, GV has more than 1k of hit point advantage once again. But RN needs to stop dropping hit points here. Cancer is spearheading this. Puts a good share to pass, although the hair is punished. And Sagittarius we're looking forward to punishing GV tanks, but GV dropping hit points unnecessarily now. RA with a hit point advantage, not really, but just a little bit of disadvantage here. Oh, Sagittarius hit there, but Cancer needs to put a good shell. Let's head over to Cancer here. Aries, Moscow needs to not be too greedy here. RA just can't stay back and hold a bit. GV needs to be really, could make a push here, I must say. They only have 4 tanks, I only have 4 tanks. And if GV are looking to make a push here, are pulling back, they knew GV is going to push, press them hard. But equally, GV are making mistakes here. They take a lot of hit points while trying to push out the double E5 here. Sagittarius has dropped the reactive armor. Doha is spearheading this. Rome is going to shut down Sagittarius, and GV just pouring their forces. But with Ara with a hit point advantage, and RA is trying to hold the horizontal straight line, RN needs to kill off Moscow as soon as possible. Ares can stay alive as long as he can. Moscow is going to be killed by Gemini. But now, RA without a hit point pool lead, Tokyo is isolated here. This is what the double T20 is going for, but RN, they're holding on. Chimpanzee, this is descending into a havoc here. But Chimpanzee, this is a dog's breakfast, and Chimpanzee's down. Tokyo is going to be down as well. Virgo is very low, in fact. GV with a hit point pool advantage, very solid hit point pool advantage. RN needs to do absolute wonders, but Doha is down. Barcelona is trying to shut down Virgo, but he's shut down by Rome instead. It's going to be 3 versus 4. Tokyo time. Bounce onto Barcelona. Cancer puts a show into Professor, but I think this game will go to GV. I don't know how Aaron managed to lose this one there, because GV just lost way too many hit points as well, trying to kind of push Aaron's forces. Aaron have a good response to that, but I think it was those heavies not holding very well, which could be the case. And Toyota time is killed. Cancer is last man standing. We're heading into the tiebreaker. Rome puts a good show to Cancer. And now Cancer is killed. This game goes to GV. There we go. Cancer doing more than 3k damage. Gemini 2k, but the rest of the teammates did less than 2k, which is not good to see. Meanwhile, GV with 4 tanks doing more than 2k, Berlin doing more than 3k alongside Professor, and Rome killing 3 tanks. Definitely the double T22s for the GV team definitely did much better than the RN T22s. We taking double eyes, force played by Ball Sortie, left behind